Hi everyone, thank you for joining us today. My name's Alison and I'm the Marketing Manager for Axe Academy. I'm in the UK, but we're a team based across Europe with the headquarters in Copenhagen. Now, our instructors have been really busy since the 16th of October, working through all the changes Microsoft have made to their exams. And today, one of our expert instructors, Denis, is joining us from Lithuania to talk through the key updates to the MB-300 core. And before he gets started, I'd just like to take a minute to tell you about the ways Axe Academy can help you develop your dynamic skills and pass those all-important exams. We offer a selection of on-demand courses for independent self-study, as well as live online courses if you prefer live training from an instructor. It's as close as you're going to get to the classroom right now. Our next live online course for the MB-300 starts on November the 30th, and I'll pop a link to it in the chat in a second. So what's unique about Axe Academy courses is we don't just prepare you to pass the exams, we equip you with the skills so you can put what you've learned into practice in the real world. Anyway, without further ado, I'll pass you over to Denis. If you have any questions for him, please pop them in the chat and we'll get to them at the end. Hi, Denis.
Hi, Alison. Thank you for this introduction. My name is Denis Poloudin. I'm based in Vilnius, Lithuania, and today I'll tell you about what's new in the Microsoft MB-300 exam. What are the latest updates to it? As Alison probably has mentioned in the chat window, if you don't see the view, please click on the play button in the middle of your screen with the start broadcast message under it. And now let us get into our new features. So we will talk what are the latest updates to the MB-300 exam. And today we will discuss, first of all, the key updates to it. That would be the scoring changes. Scoring changes of the groups of questions and what were the previous weights, what are the current weights. We will find out that some of the topics are missing, and we're not sure if they are not hidden under other topics, but I did investigate what Microsoft has given us, and I'll try to cover that. Also, there were some new models included that I don't remember from previous MB-300 exams. Of course, after we will finish with the key updates, we'll cover how to prepare for the exam, what are the takeaways from these. Of course, you'll get some links and hints to successfully pass the MB-300 exam. So let's talk about scoring changes. We will talk about shifted weights, we will talk about topics added, removed, and new topics and modules in MB-300 exam. So first of all, we'll talk about the use of common functionality and implementation tools. These used to be a really large group, and it reduced significantly. Now the weight of common functionality and implementation tools is around 15 to 20%, and it used to be 20-25. And there are some topics that were removed from this group, and probably that's the reason why the weight of questions from this group have been that reduced by 5 to 10%. Next group of questions that make up this exam is configure security, processes, and options. Here we also see the reduction in weight. It used to be 45 to 50%. Now it is 30-35%, which is like 15 to 20% less that used to be. And when we look through topics there, most of them have been not changing from the previous description of the exam. And we'll get a little bit into details into this group later on. This group, which is called Manage Finance and Operations Data, it has increased its weight. So it used to be 15-20% weight for the questions from that group into the exam score. Now it increased by 10-15%. Now it's 25-30, and probably these managed finance and operations data might look not that common for you. First of all, it used to be called different name, which was the data migration group of questions. And the last group there is the validate and support the solution. The weight of that group hasn't changed at all. It's the same 15-20% weight into the final exam score. But there are interesting things happening here around those groups.
Hey, Denis, it looks like there's quite a significant number of changes being made to the MB-300.
Yeah, that's true, Alison. First of all, the biggest change that I have noticed in this exam description currently is the removal of Lifecycle Services. Any mentions to Lifecycle Services from the use common functionality and implementation tools. So probably that's why it's been reduced from 20-25%, like quarter of the weight of the exam, just to 15-20%. But that might be because those lifecycle services have been moved into validate and support the solution. And that group hasn't changed at all. The weight is still the same, so most probably you'll get less questions, but from the bigger variety of them. So those are differences in the scoring of the exam questions into the final result. And let's get into the topics that have been changed or added. So a big change, as I already mentioned, is in the lifecycle services. Lifecycle services tools, which are used for the implementation of D365 for finance and operations. So I reviewed the list of questions there, the list of topics that are should be the source for the questions, and looks like topics are still the same, but they are regrouped a little bit, and looks like that the accents are shifted a little bit inside that group as well. New things that I've seen there in the exam description, first of all, is the case management. Those of you guys who are familiar with D365 for finance operations and previous versions of it, of course, you know that there is a model case management. And now we can see that case management have been added into the exam topics. So just keep it into your keyword, this topic, case management. Make sure you know it before you go to the exam. Also, what I noticed that financial reports are, like any mentioning to them, are removed from description on MB-300 exam, and looks like that they are moved to MB-310, which is financial course and financial exam for Dynamic 365. Also, what I noticed that there is additional topic added related with the reports, which is inquiry and report types, which are available in the default installation. So it looks like they are trying to catch you on your general knowledge of the modules of D365. I don't know what they are going to ask you, but most probably that would be the names of the reports and where to find them. I don't have any other idea what it might be. But the biggest change in the description of the exam is Power Platform apps and services. So there were mentioning for the Power Platform in the previous description of the exam, and I myself passed that MB-300 exam earlier this year, and I remember there were some questions related with the Power Platform, but it was like one question or two maximum. But now, and as well, that Power Platform was mentioned there just as the Power BI app. and in relation with the D365 for finance and operations. But now we can see a list of various topics related with the Power Platform, apps and services. And also I noticed that in the workflows group of questions, there is a topic, Power Automate to extend the workflows. So I think that that's where you have to pay your attention and put some more effort to understand the topics, prepare yourself, because most probably you'll get some questions related with Power Platform. And another topics that among the topics that were added into the exam, I have noticed data migration strategies. Data migration was always part of MB-300 training courses as well as MB-300 exam, but now I see that the strategies and also the subtopics for it were added into the description of the exam. Probably that's important thing, and you need to understand it before you go and pass your exam.
So Denis, just here, what do you mean by the LCS reorganized questions?
I think that it's lifecycle services are a very important topic in D365 when we speak of implementation, and as well of using of core features of D365 for finance and operations. And they moved all lifecycle related questions from the first group of core features into the test and supporting the implementation. So I think that they have to rethink how those questions are included into the exam. And I think that they are trying to catch us here on our knowledge, as I noticed that general public of the D365 family are not that fluent with lifecycle services there, and moving questions around from one group to the other might signal us that there are some questions, some new questions, fresh questions that try to catch us there and prevent us from passing the exam. So probably that's the thing where we need to pay more attention.
Okay.
And speaking of topics gone, I don't see any mention to questionnaire topic. That's a pretty small thing when we speak about D365 for finance and operation core features. But saying questionnaire was not mentioned in the previous version of the MB-300 exam. And from my experience of taking that exam and passing it, I got a question about questionnaire. People I spoke about it also were mentioning me that there was some strange questionnaire thing that they had to answer. So I don't know, gone but not forgotten, or how should we call it? But questionnaire, it's something you still need to keep in mind and at least know what is it about. I don't see any mentioning of localization of global address book anymore in the description of the exam. That's something probably they think that's the general knowledge in all those years of evolution of D365 for finance and operations. So they removed mentioning to that, to this topic. I don't know. It's good. It's good to know localizations, translations, and labels and so on and so forth. So it's removed, but again, that's question in the same way as this question here. I don't see any mentioning of electronic reporting, though in the preparation topics we do have mentioning of those things. So probably not that important anymore, who knows. And the biggest thing that was a bigger part of the preparation, as well as for the online courses and in-class trainings, was the network printing. I don't see any mentioning of that anymore in the description of MB-300 exam. So probably it's moved to administration, but I don't know if there is any administrative course of MB-300 or administrative exam. So, but anyways, that will take away that 1 or 2 questions from the exam related with the network printing. And who knows, will they add additional question for the lifecycle services or maybe data migration? And now let's get into more details about the question groups. One first question group is that use common functionality and implementation tools, and that's where that case management was added. The rest of the topics listed there, of course, I just put some of them here, not all that you can find at docsmicrosoft.com. There were still same workspaces, global address book, electronic reporting, but it's in relation with the business document management. And the other topic, which is I have already mentioned, and I think that it was added into this exam, that's the inquiry and report types available in a default installation. So those are things that you need to know, and the score of this group has reduced to 15-20%. New topics added, so you have to prepare like a little bit more, have more topics there, but you get less questions. And also what's very important, into that same group we have Power Platform added. And besides those common data services and Power BI that we had before that, Power Apps and Power Automate are added into this question group, as well as Power Virtual Agents. I haven't seen that new examiners yet, just seen the description. Definitely, I'm going to take that exam and get prepared for the live online course, just to know what are new topics, how they do look like in the exam. Now I just see what I see, and that's the new topic there. Definitely mentioned to Power Apps and Power Automates and Virtual Agents are added. So we have to keep that in mind, that those are definitely new things. When we speak of configure security processes and options, the weight of that group has reduced, and the topics are left there. So probably we will get a little bit less questions in the exam from this group, but we got here again that mentioning to Power BI and its integration with the entity store. So that's more about the configuration. Probably a question about that integration might appear in your exam. Who knows? But the rest of topics in the configure security processes and options do remain the same, and the weight has reduced to 30-35%.
Denis, can you just say what this focuses on organizational hierarchies for us?
Thank you for this question. I think that organizational administration features are a really important part of the course as well as the exam. In the exam, we get 2-3 questions related with the organization hierarchies as well as the organizational hierarchy purposes. So that's something that instructors and some training materials try to hide from us or just slip over, not explaining much. But that's the topic that in general usage of the company life are very important for finance department, for the human resources department. So that's something you need to know, something you need to learn, and definitely questions related with the organizational hierarchy will appear in your exam. So that's something that you need to pay some more attention than you would like to, I guess.
Noted, thanks.
And next group of question is manage finance and operations data. Again, we have here some reduction of weight, and besides that, managing of data, preparation for migration, and data migration itself, we have that new group which was added. That's plan and migration strategy. I don't think that it's a lot that you have to learn here, especially if you are on the implementations in your real job. If not, probably that's something you need to read on docs.microsoft.com or have some soft questions during the online preparation for the exam. But migration strategy can be tricky if you don't know what it is. If you know it, definitely that won't be a problem for you. And the last group of questions there is the validate and support the solution. The weight of it hasn't changed. That's the same 15-20%. And we have here the same old test solution questions related with the describing of the testing tools, automation, and managing of the test cases, all those keywords like RSAT and BPM. So all of that is still there. And keep in mind that as soon as the weight hasn't changed, but we have the additional topic added here, like a lot of questions, topics in that group or subgroup of implement lifecycle services tools were added into the same bigger group of questions with that weight, which is unchanged for the exam. So I believe that there would be less testing related questions here and more lifecycle services and its tools question. Also, what I noticed that besides all the lifecycle services topics which were already part of the previous exam or in the description of the previous version of the exam, there is one new thing that I haven't seen before. That's the Manage Dynamics 365 one version thing. Probably that's something that worth mentioning, and we'll get into details on that a little bit later.
So what has moved exactly from common functionality and implementation tools?
Alison, everything related with the lifecycle services have been moved from the common functionality implementation into that validate and support the solution. So that that has to be kept in mind, and probably less question of the lifecycle services will be in general in the exam. I'm just thinking here. I don't know for sure, but they will take some weight from the testing solutions and probably BPM and its integration with the Azure DevOps and Task Recorder. Who knows? But that's something we need to keep in mind. Now, let's quickly talk about definitely new modules which were included, or new topics that were included into this exam. I can see a lot of Power Platform related topics and things that you need to know before you go for the exam. So definitely, you need to know the keywords, and I don't think that will be 10 or 15 questions related with the Power Platform, keeping in mind that there are like about 60 questions in the exam, 70 the most. So there won't be 10 questions related with Power Platform, but I expect that 2 or 3 questions would be there. So you need to understand the differences between those keywords. What's Power Apps? What's Power Automate? Or that new thing, those chatbots, which are fancy called Power Virtual Agents, right? So who knows what would be the questions in the exam, but definitely that's something you need to understand. You need to understand the data connectors, the AI builder, and of course common data services, which were mentioned in the previous version of this exam, and most probably they would be still there in this exam. They are listed in the topics. And of course Power BI and Power BI, you can get questions in relation with Power Platform, as well as the questions in relation with the reporting. So that's something new that you need to learn. Keep in mind that definitely there would be questions related with that. as soon as Microsoft is pushing Power Platform to its customers and into the implementations. Also, one version, Dynamics 365, is mentioned in the description of the exam. So I believe that you need to understand the frequency of the Microsoft service updates. You need to understand how those updates are done continually, and how to do the scheduling of the automated updates, how to stay up to date with the version of the D365, how much time is given to you. So all that stuff related with the Dynamics 365 one version, you should know when going to the exam. And that thing is also covered in the MB-300 live online course. That's something not much, but it's covered there, something to learn if you don't know that. So I think that we still have a couple minutes here for this webinar. So let's cover how to study, how to practice. Probably are there any practice tests related with the MB-300? And here I'll give the microphone to Alison. Where do you learn more?
Thanks, Denis. Of course, go to our website. We've got a blog there which is regularly updated with lots of relevant information. So I really encourage you to visit that for loads of value. Also, follow our social media channels. Really active on there, and love for you to join us over there. All of our instructors have been involved in developing comprehensive online exam preparation courses to give you the best chance of passing. And you can choose from our on-demand courses, which are independent study, study at your own time, in your own pace, wherever you want. And the MB-300 on-demand course does include the official Microsoft practice test. Then our live online courses, which, as I said before, they're as close as you're going to get right now to being in the classroom. And that's a really excellent opportunity for you to get real-time support from one of our experts. The next live online for the MB-300 starts on November the 30th. It's over 5 half days, but all the classes are recorded in case you can't attend them real-time. I'll pop the link in the chat again. But yeah, please follow us, please engage with us and get in touch with us and let us know how we can help you learn more. Back to you, Denis.
Thank you, Alison. And I'm going to talk a little bit about practice. Of course, to pass this exam, you need to have some practice. Will it be your daily job? Will it be the practice that you will get at the in-class trainings or online trainings? You need to know. You need to know how to use D365 for finance and operations, definitely. Because even though we have that list of topics there covered in the docs.microsoft.com description of this exam, topics that I have told you about that were removed, added, or changed, still, they throw in 1 or 2 questions about general understanding of the D365. So definitely you need to have some hands-on practice. And for that purpose, Microsoft is giving you the official training environment VM that you can download from Lifecycle Services and attach it to your Azure virtual machine, or install it locally with the Hyper-V Manager or whatever is your preferred tool. And it's the latest update is from the April 2020, and you get the maximum of new features. Some of them you can see listed there on the screen. And we are in our online courses. We do use the latest VM, as well as we use providers Go Deploy or Learn on Demand that use pretty up-to-date versions of virtual machines of Microsoft. Practice tests. One of the Microsoft official practice tests is provided by the MeasureUp, and it's pretty good test. I have taken it like dozens of times while preparing for my own MB-300 exam, and what's good to know that Academy is giving that MB-300 practice text by MeasureUp for free for you as the add-on when you're attending that live online courses of MB-300. Any additional resources? Microsoft Tech Talk videos, docsmicrosoft.com. That's something for you to learn, and all the latest updates are there. Any questions? All right. I think I was pretty clear here. No questions so far.
Great. Oh, well, if there's no questions, thank you so much for that, Denis. That's been a really value-packed session. I hope everyone's found that really useful. Don't miss any future sessions because we're running webinars about all different exams and different topics. If you sign up for our newsletter, I'll pop the link in the chat. You'll be the first to hear about them. And do let us know if you've got any suggestions, things you'd like us to run a webinar about, anything at all. We'd love to hear your feedback. Just drop us an email or catch us on our social channels. We have got a question just come in, Denis. I don't know if you can see that there.
Yeah, I can see. I can see the question: how to prepare for the exam as a new user.
Yeah.
Definitely, you need to get some hands-on. And one of the ways to get a hands-on is to participate in class trainings or in the live online trainings for MB-300. And it will give you the general understanding of the system. So you'll have some hands-on. You'll understand how to use the system. Of course, this exam, this preparation course will not give you the ability to pass the exam the next day. Of course, after that, you will need to put in some efforts into it. And as if you will be participating in the live online courses, you will get access to the virtual machine for quite some time after the course has ended. So you will be able to prepare it on your own, practicing, practice, questions, and of course that practice exam, which is provided by MeasureUp.
Perfect. I think that's it. So thank you so much, Denis. Thanks everyone for joining us. I hope we see you again soon, and hope everyone has a great day. Thanks, Denis.
My pleasure. Have a great day, everyone.
Take care. Bye.